Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me today for a real super quick card making video today. This video is supporting my blog today, which is our project share project blog hop that we do each month. Now we rolled it back a little bit this week, so we're a week behind our usual schedule, but we are here today. So that's myself, Jill, Jez and Heather. Heather is currently on holiday in Florida, which is also another reason why we had to move around this blog. So she's having a whale of a time there. So yes, today our theme is monochrome. Okay, so single colour, if you like, and I interpret that as, like, you know, black and white or something and white, but equally we could have used you know, any one of our neutrals with a colour, I would have said. But so I've gone with white plus a colour to create some really super simple cards today. So this is what we're going to be kind of replicating. Going to be dead easy. This happens to be Berry Burst, so I've used Berry Burst cardstock and Berry Burst ink with the white details over the top. So this die, well, the sentiment comes from Artistically Inked, and the coordinating dies here are the artistic dies, and we've got this fabulous detailed die in here, okay, which is absolutely stunning to use, and it just creates this really nice focal point on the card. Stick a sentiment on it and you're done. Okay, so obviously this is super simple, just using the two colours, but you know, you can imagine how you could add more to this and jazz that up a little bit. Okay, so that's the premise of what we're going to be doing. Okay, and as always, I like to provide you with some other colour options. So because these are so quick and I've done a bit of prep ahead of time, we're going to do a few different cards, okay? And I've pulled out some colours for no particular reasons, really. Right, so Blackberry Bliss has come out because it's one of my faves. I think the monochromatic look does well against these darker colours. This is Blueberry Bushel. This is one of the newer colours. It's a returning in colour, that is, but it's a nice blue. And then I've got one of the in colours in a neutral, and this is Pebbled Path. So yes, we're making birthday cards with that sentiment, but I think this is the kind of thing that you might opt to potentially do something similar for a sympathy card or something like that. Well, any of these darker colours, actually. I would say you could probably get away with Blackberry Bliss for that kind of thing as well. Okay, so those are the colours that I'm just going to play with today. Now I have already gone ahead and die cut these already. Okay, so this is probably the most time consuming element of making the card, is doing the die cut. Okay, but I do have a little tip when we're doing these intricate die cuts. So I've just decided to pop out those little things in the centre there. But I don't think it looks terrible if you have to leave them in, if you can't get those out. Okay, so I use a pokey tool. I happen to have this one that I've had for forever to clean out my dies, but just to give you an idea of something that might help with your intricate dies. Now this is my very well used cutting plate, as you can see. It's no longer see-through. Okay, this is my top plate, which looks much more clear kind of thing. But you know, you use and use your cutting plates until they break or whatever. Okay, and they will last a very long time. I do lots of die cutting. If you watch my channel, you know I die cut a lot. So it's good to know that they last a long time. Okay, so, and then what I do is I'll replace this one with the old top plate and then bring out a brand new top plate, if that makes sense. So when we're doing a die cut sandwich with our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, we have to use, well, it's on the thing, we use our base platform number 1, we have our thin die adapter number 2, and then we sandwich our die and cardstock between 2 cutting plates. So here's our die adapter, and then I would have this on the bottom, and then I would put some cardstock on top, put my die on top. Obviously that's not going to, we're not going to cut this. And then I'd put my clean one on top, okay, and then I'd roll it through the machine, okay. So a little tip with the intricate dies is, one, run them backwards and forwards a couple of times just to make sure it's cut all the way through. But the other tip I'm going to give you is, instead of running it through like that, flip it over like that. What that means is the top roller on your machine that's going over the top is only applying pressure through one cutting plate onto your cardstock, so you actually increase the amount of pressure that you're putting on it, okay. Just physics. It's subtle, but it does make a difference. Well, at least I found it makes a difference on my die cut machine. Every die cut machine will behave slightly differently. But if you do have any difficulty and you're thinking, you know, the die, there's still too many things that haven't quite cut through, try that, see whether it makes a difference. Okay, so that's a tip for you if you find that's a struggle. So that's what I've done, and I've done 3, obviously, because we've got 3 cards that we're going to make. So when you've die cut this, a lot of the pieces, the larger pieces, just literally fall out. But you just might have to just get into some of those smaller bits just to get them to finish off. All right. So we're going to use some wet glue then. Get these onto our card, and I'm not aiming to kind of plaster the back of this with any glue. I'm just going to put some dots here and there just to secure it to the card base. And honestly, you don't need a lot of this glue. It's really strong, and what you don't want is a lot of it oozing out from the sides. Really, it does dry clear, but it will have a bit of a shine to it, so you possibly want to try and avoid using too much of it. But a glue eraser will help get any of that excess off. Now it's going to curl a little bit because of the nature of the die. Where have I put that? There we are. But if you just put one of your larger acrylic blocks over the top, that will just hold it in place for a little while that sets. Let's put that over there, and then we'll just rinse and repeat. So you only want little teeny dabs of glue. I don't know whether you can even see my dabs of glue because they're little teeny tiny dabs on just these slightly larger sections, just to hold it in place, really. Okay, and then the die cut, not the die cut, the sentiment will also go across there as well, and just add as an extra bit of support as well. So again, you want to try and make sure it fits on the card. It is a snug fit, so I want to just make sure it's on. I'll just press my hand on that just for a second. So if you want to use a bit more glue, use a bit more glue. I just don't want to use excessive amount of it. So now that that's mostly done, I'm going to swap that and put that on there. And then our last one is our Blackberry Bliss one. So So, oops, I've gone a bit blobby. With this central bit in that, with the holes, you might find that it comes through the holes, so just be mindful of that. The other alternative is to use sticky sheets. We do have those adhesive sheets that you can die cut in the catalogue, so you could try using those as well. It's just not something. It's not something I do a lot of in terms of you know, trying to stick down in intricate die cuts. It's not. So I have not actually purchased any of that stuff. But if you've got some and you want to try it, please do. Okay, there is some in the annual catalogue that you can purchase and try. Okay, so let's pop that down. Like so. No, that one's mostly done. Well, swap that over. So those can sit and set for a bit while we do our sentiment. So when I did the die cutting, I did it using sort of a quarter sheet of cardstock. Okay, and ended up with these bits at the end. So these are going to make great little elements that we can cut our sentiment strips on. So I just want 1/2 inch strips, so I can just get, I can probably get all 3 out of this one little piece here. Just 1/2 inch. And obviously I know that because, you know, I've made the samples and stuff, so I'm just cutting this to, so I know that it will fit. Oh, that doesn't look straight. No, that's not straight. I don't know how that didn't end up straight, but it didn't. Let's cut another one. So, you know, you use those scraps. I'm not going to be throwing those away until, you know, it gets to a point where they literally become useless. They can't use a punch on it or a die on it or whatever. So, of course, we have got our coordinating inks for this set of cards. So this is Blackberry Bliss that we're going to do first. And now I've mounted this on, this is one of my favourite blocks, the H block. H and D are the ones, if you're starting out and you're thinking which blocks do I get, I would consider the bundle, because you save 10%. So you get one of each size of the blocks, including the big, huge one. Okay, so nice stamp. So that's a really good starting point. So it's something you could easily add to a starter kit to get you going if you haven't got anything at all. And then the other thing what I was going to say was, yeah, so after having so I started off just getting a couple, then I bought the full set. I think I got it as a did I buy it or did I win in a raffle? I can't remember. Might have been a team raffle, I can't remember. So I ended up with the full set, which gave me all the different sizes, and then from then on I just sort of added, it's blueberry bushel, added to it with each order. So whether you're a demonstrator or not, when you spend £150 or more, you actually get a percentage back, 10% back, which are called Stampin' rewards, and then you can actually purchase it. Well, you can use that towards additional product, and I often will use that for things like my dimensionals that I go through like nobody's business, my basic white cardstock, or as well some stamping blocks. So I've gradually built up quite a collection of blocks, but I would definitely say that H and D are the ones I use the most. Okay, if that's useful. Rightio, so now we've got our 3 sentiment strips. We're just going to trim these down. So I'm just going to lop off those at an angle. You can use a punch or whatever to cut these down, but we're going for nice and quick and simple today. Okay, so we're just going to do it with our scissors, like so. And these are going to go on our card with dimensionals. So because they're 1/2 inch, they fit the dimensionals beautifully. These are just shy of 1/2 inch, so that's another great thing. So I go through these like they're going out of fashion, really. I'm going to take off the back so that they're ready to glue on. So our die cuts should hopefully be nice and dry. That glue doesn't take very long to dry, and because we're using very small amounts, it will dry very quickly. Okay. If you do get any glue residue on that, it will just wash off, it will peel off or whatever. So okay. And again, if you do have any bits of glue that you want to get rid of, you can get glue erasers like this. Stampin' Up don't carry them anymore, but you can find them. They're readily available, so you can use those. But if push comes to shove, a good quality white rubber will also get that off for you as well. Okay. Right, happen to have picked up blueberry bushel first, so I'll pop that on, and then it's a case of wear, really. I think it looks nice connected to the die. Oh dear, I just think it's funny that every time I picked it up it was always the card that was underneath, so I just found that amusing. One. So couldn't be easier, really. And then just because let's pop some rhinestones on. They're clear, they don't count. Okay, so again I'm just going to go with 3. 3 is definitely the magic number, and if it's not 3, it's any odd number. You'll see me a lot of the time use all 3 sizes, but you know, you don't get as many of the larger ones. And I thought with this sort of simple layout, I thought these little ones might be just as well anyway. So I didn't put any on the original sample, so I'm just going to pop those on now, because it only takes a couple of ticks. And that is that. Just going to pop those back in that packet so that they're away. Okay, so there we have it. Nice, really quick monochromatic cards using a single colour with Berry Burst, Blueberry Bushel, Blackberry Bliss and Pebbled Path. So the sort of darker kind of colours. And of course we could use any kind of colour with this. So here's a sample with Balmy Blue, something a bit softer. Okay, and then I thought I would also show you how it looks with that leaf design. Okay, so again, you know, when we were talking about, you know, potentially we could make some really nice elegant sympathy cards. Now obviously that's in green, but you know, if you change that up a little bit, it's a really nice and simple kind of look that would be nice on those more sombre occasions. Okay, so there you go, loads of ideas, loads of monochromatic cards, and really quite simple to make. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that. Don't forget, obviously this is part of this supports our monthly blog hop, the Project Share project, so please do click in the links, hop over to the blog, and you'll see everybody else's links in there, and see what they've all come up with. Okay, thanks ever so much for joining me today. Stay safe, take care, bye.